Okay, let's dive right into it. Today, we're taking a deep look at a list that, well, it genuinely forces you to rethink the world around you.
Hmm.
It's the 10 most outstanding inventions that changed the world. We've got this article from 10mosttoday.com laying out its specific case for these 10.
Right.
And our mission really is to unpack not just what they are, but why this source argues these particular 10 had the most, fundamental impact.
Absolutely. And it's more than just a history list, isn't it? The article kicks off asking a really great question, which is, can you even imagine life without some of these?
Yeah.
It talks about that jump from, say, writing with a quill or lighting your home with candles
Right.
to the world we know with computers and fluorescent lights. It frames these not just as like improvements, but as totally different ways of existing.
Exactly. So this deep dive,
Mm.
it's kind of your shortcut to getting a solid handle on the core arguments this source makes. About the 10 things it sees as the bedrock of our modern society.
Basically, pulling up those key insights.
Yeah, without getting lost in all the noise.
Think of it like identifying the major tectonic shifts caused by human ingenuity.
Okay, perfect way to put it. Let's jump straight in then.
Yeah.
Number one on their list. Well, for anyone connected to the modern world, it feels utterly unavoidable, the internet.
Yeah, no kidding. And what's fascinating here is how the source highlights the sheer and, frankly, increasing impact it has.
Right.
Across almost every single area of life you can think of, economics, art, communication, business, it didn't just tweak things, it fundamentally rewrote the rules everywhere, almost simultaneously.
And it's the glue, isn't it? The article really emphasizes that role in connecting people globally. I mean, in a way that was just impossible before.
Totally impossible. Reaching someone halfway across the world is now, what, a tap on a screen?
Hmm.
And the access to information, wow, that might be its most profound ongoing impact.
You think so?
Yeah, the ability to just pull up vast amounts of knowledge in seconds, it's changed education, research, how we solve problems, just about everything. And the source points out, quite rightly, that as technology advances, the internet's reach and impact only continue to deepen. It's less of an invention now and maybe more like the infrastructure for modern life.
Okay, that's the hyper-modern.
Yeah.
Now, prepare for a bit of a historical jump, because number two on their list takes us back.
Uh-huh.
Way, way back.
Ah, yes. The wheel.
The wheel.
This is like the definition of foundational. The article describes it as having a remarkable impact, especially in the past.
Right?
And calls it a breakthrough invention, not just important itself, but absolutely necessary for countless other inventions and technologies that followed.
And what's kind of incredible, as the source notes, is the mystery around it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who invented it or exactly when, though the oldest discovered wheel is estimated to be, what, 5,000 years old?
Mind-blowing, isn't it? 5,000 years. And that anonymity for something so fundamental, it's just wild.
It really is.
So the source pinpoints its earliest major documented use: fast, efficient transportation of goods. Before the wheel, moving anything heavy or bulky over land was just an immense, back-breaking task. It revolutionized commerce, movement, settlement patterns, just by making things roll.
And the article brings it right up to today, making the point that even with all our advanced engineering, modern tech cars, factory conveyors, it still fundamentally relies on that basic principle.
Yeah, the wheel, an ancient concept that never stopped being relevant.
It's a testament, really, to simple, elegant design having truly enduring impact.
Exactly.
All right, shifting gears again. Number three brings us forward a bit. Another revolution in connection. The telephone.
Ah, yes. And the article, of course, credits Alexander Graham Bell here.
Mm-hmm.
Its initial breakthrough, as the source lays it out, was just making communication within households and then between them dramatically easier compared to sending letters or, shouting.
Right. But the source also points out the crucial early issue, it wasn't affordable for most people at first,
No, it was a luxury item.
which kind of highlights something we see with a lot of transformative inventions, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does. The initial breakthrough is one thing, but the innovation that makes it accessible, that's often what drives the mass impact.
Good point.
The article explains how later developments made the telephone much more affordable, more efficient.
And you see the result today. The article paints that picture. It's hard to imagine going anywhere without a mobile phone practically attached to you.
Oh, absolutely.
It went from this niche device to, well, a personal portal for communication, information, everything. Its evolution is a key part of its story.
Exactly. Its impact just snowballed once it became a tool for pretty much everyone.
Okay, next on the list, number four, we have the compass.
Now, this one's fascinating because, as the source reminds us, even with GPS and all the satellite tech,
Yeah.
explorers, navigators, they still use the principles of the compass. The article notes its first significant use goes back to the 14th century.
And the historical importance, the article signs it, is just huge. It argues that without the compass, explorers simply might not have reached where they were going.
Think about that.
It could have fundamentally altered the course of history.
Yeah, the compass was this critical enabler for the age of exploration, which, opened up interactions between previously isolated parts of the world on a scale never seen before.
Right.
It didn't just guide ships, it literally reshaped global trade, culture, politics. It helped draw the map of the modern world we know.
From navigating the seas to navigating information flow. Number 5 is the printing press.
Right. The source mentions the idea of printing had been around since, the 11th century,
Okay.
but it specifically credits Johann Gutenberg with the real game changer, the movable type printing press. Around the 1430s, that movable type was the critical bit.
And the impact, as the article stresses, was enormous.
Yeah.
I mean, before Gutenberg, books were painstakingly copied by hand.
Slow, expensive work.
Exactly. The printing press allowed material to be collected, reproduced, and circulated far more widely, far more rapidly than ever before.
And here's where the deeper impact lies, according to the source. It made books considerably more accessible, particularly for middle-class families who just couldn't afford those expensive hand-copied texts.
So it wasn't just about making more books.
No, it was about democratizing knowledge. It fueled literacy, spread ideas incredibly fast. Think about the Reformation, and fundamentally altered how societies learned and communicated. It sparked an information revolution long, long before the internet.
Truly transformative.
Oh.
Okay, let's move to number 6, the automobile.
The car. The article points to how ubiquitous they are today, the main way most of us get around, contrasting it with earlier times, obviously.
Right, and it credits Carl Benz with what's considered the first one, the motor wagon, way back in 1885.
But much like the early telephone, the source highlights that initial problem. The first automobiles were luxury items.
Unaffordable for the average person.
Exactly. Which brings us to Henry Ford. The article explains how Ford tackled this barrier by revolutionizing the production process, the assembly line.
Making them affordable for a mass market.
Right. And that's a key point. The article makes the innovation in production was arguably as important as the invention itself for its world-changing impact.
Good point. It shifted societies from mostly walking or using animal power to mechanized personal transport.
Totally. Reshaping cities, enabling suburbs, creating entirely new industries, changing our whole concept of distance and travel forever.
Okay, shifting from physical movement to processing information. Number 7 is the computer.
The source links its appearance to the evolution of fundamental components, like semiconductors and electronics.
And today, well, we all know, computers are used for practically everything: studies, work, entertainment.
Yeah, pretty much everything. The article describes them as these incredibly complex machines that are now just essential tools.
Underpinning vast sectors of the economy, requiring all this specialized knowledge of hardware, software.
Right. And its impact isn't slowing down. The source reiterates its remarkable impact and its crucial role helping students learn, helping professionals do their jobs more efficiently, and in entirely new ways, too.
Oh, yeah. Think about scientific research, design, data analysis.
Yeah.
Stuff that was either impossible or infinitely slower before computers.
Exactly.
Okay, from manipulating information to, well, powering our lives. Number 8, electricity.
This is one where the source makes a pretty strong statement. One of the most important things we can't live without today.
And yeah, that's hard to argue with, isn't it?
Not really. Just listing a few things the article mentions that rely on, it drives that home air conditioning, computers, which we just talked about,
Yeah.
electric lights.
It just makes daily life dramatically easier, more comfortable. The article flat out says we can't definitely imagine our lives without this great invention.
And that connection to other inventions is critical too. Electricity isn't just about comfort. It's the power source for so many other transformative technologies.
Like the telephone, the computer?
Right, and modern manufacturing, lighting. It's
Yeah.
this foundational utility that really unlocks the full potential of countless other breakthroughs.
Okay, now for number 9, the steam engine.
This invention, according to the source, was basically a prerequisite for modern modes of travel trains, steamships.
Right. Without it, the speed and capacity of transport we rely on just wouldn't be feasible.
And the article connects it directly to the availability of goods we now take for granted: clothes, food, drinks. Before the steam engine, these things were largely handmade, scarce, expensive.
So the steam engine.
It was the driving force behind the Industrial Revolution, a period of just immense societal upheaval and change.
Huge change.
The source highlights the opening of huge factories powered by steam engines and how the continuous innovation in steam power profoundly impacted the global economy. It enabled mass production, rapid distribution.
It fundamentally altered work, where people lived, global trade, everything.
Absolutely.
And finally, number 10 on their list, antibiotics.
The source calls out its great impact in the world of medicine, which feels like an understatement, maybe.
Huh? Maybe. It specifically highlights their capacity to fight this huge range of bacterial infections that were often fatal before.
hmm The article credits Alexander Fleming with the perhaps accidental discovery of penicillin back in 1920.
Serendipitous, yeah. And it notes its relatively rapid development and spread after its potential was recognized.
And the profound impact the source focuses on is just life-saving. By preventing bacterial growth that's detrimental to health, antibiotics have saved, well, countless millions of lives since they became widely used.
So when you look at the list as a whole, what really stands out is how these inventions tackle these fundamental human challenges or desires.
Yeah, like how we move, how we communicate, how we get information, stay healthy, produce what we need. It covers the basics of civilization almost.
So what does this all mean when you kind of step back and look at it? This deep dive into the article really shows us that these 10 inventions, they aren't just isolated historical events.
No, none of.
They're interconnected breakthroughs that cumulatively built the world we inhabit today.
Right. From the ancient simplicity of the wheel enabling transport, to the complex chemistry of antibiotics extending our lives, to that intangible network of the internet connecting minds globally. They represent massive leaps.
And it's fascinating how many of them built upon or enabled each other, like you said earlier.
Yeah, the steam engine made factories possible, which enabled mass production of things like automobiles, electricity-powered later communication, like the telephone and computer, which now run over the internet. It's like this web of ingenuity stretching across millennia.
And as the source subtly reminds us, these aren't just dusty historical facts. These 10 things, or things fundamentally enabled by them, they're the very fabric of your daily life.
Oh, absolutely.
Seriously, think about it. Before you even had lunch today, you probably interacted with electricity, the internet, maybe
Yeah.
a car, your phone. The list just goes on.
It really does. This whole exploration just shows the sheer scale of impact that human ingenuity has had.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Building on that point the article makes about innovation being unending.
And how modern tech still relies on ancient foundations like the wheel.
Exactly. It raises this important question for you, the listener, to ponder. As you look around today at the innovations happening right now, maybe something that seems small or specialized, like a new material or a specific software algorithm or maybe a bioengineering technique.
Yeah.
What current invention do you think future generations will look back on and say, yes, that one? That fundamentally changed their world, just like the wheel or the internet changed ours. Something to think about.